We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves. We making major moves. We going all in. Like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves.
What is up, everybody? I'm Mr. Man. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen this face before, see it. Love it. Get used to it. See it and see it as many times as you can, because I bring fire when it comes to this digital realm here and what's taking place very, very currently as well. I think the lights just turned on actually automatically on their own, but that's neither here nor there. Today I'm jumping over to MAS, Monetary Authority of Singapore. So we're in Singapore. We are in Southeast Asia at this point here, and I want to dive into a bit of the Stellar ecosystem. Why? Because I love this infrastructure talk. Infrastructure are the plumbings, they are the rails, they are the roads within our world. Essentially, when I say roads, picture a road. You know, you have one road going this way, one road going that way, and they all have their ways that they're going. Then you have information, you have vehicles on there moving to go where they need to go. They stop when they need to stop, go where they need to go, path find like a GPS. Within that highway infrastructure, you will have businesses along there, right? At their own little corners, their own little areas, the driveway to get into them. Those are now layer 2s. Built on top of the infrastructure, right? That's how we're viewing this here. So that's what we are going into in regards to this Stellar ecosystem. I want to drop Zilliqa to you guys as well. I also want to drop Polygon and Ethereum. I'm not a huge fan of Ethereum at all. I purchased, when I first jumped into cryptocurrency, I purchased some coins, and they were on Ethereum. And man, that gas fee is dangerous. Let me tell you, I will not buy anything on that chain again. I don't business how high it's set to go. I cannot do it. I cannot. The higher it goes, the higher the fees. The more it's being utilized as an ecosystem, the higher the fees goes. And that's to keep it curbed down at whatever pace it's supposed to go. So that way it's reasonably used, right? The slower it goes, the lower the fees. So this here is at a conference here. This is Ravi. He was of Singapore. Now he's left he's still in Singapore, I imagine, but he was with the MAS. Now he's left MAS. He is not the face for them. This video came out November 2023, so just a few months ago here, okay? So it's very, very relevant. I came to bring the pain. Listen to what he has to say here. We are talking about global layer 1 platforms, global layer 1 ecosystems. Stellar, XRP, I'll fall into that. Zilliqa falls into that. And I'll let him describe this ecosystem to you. And then I'll describe and show you guys who some of these players are that are being brought into existence in adherence to framework set by MAS and the higher entities in BIS, FSB, whoever's the standard setters bodies are, which we've gone through numerous times. They're the one providing the recommendations down to these guys. These guys provide the recommendation framework, and so on and so forth. That's how that works. It's just a chain of chain of chain of chain up the rungs. You're just going up the rungs. So I'm going to mute myself here, and we're going to listen to what Ravi has to say here, all right? Let's do it.
The IMF will help provide the global perspective that we need to scale these efforts. So that's digital assets. Let me move on to digital money. There are 4 contenders for digital money in the future. 1, privately issued cryptocurrencies. 2, central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs for short. 3, tokenized bank liabilities. And 4, well-regulated stablecoins. Cryptocurrencies, private cryptocurrencies, have failed the test of digital money. They have performed poorly as a medium of exchange or store of value. Their prices are subject to sharp speculative swings.
Private cryptocurrencies, huh? What is a private cryptocurrency? Private cryptocurrencies, what is it and how does it work? What is a private currency? Private currencies are units of values issued by private organizations such as a corporation or non-profit enterprise to act as an alternative to a national or fiat currency. So it's essentially a wannabe, which would otherwise be the standard unit of value in a country. As a result, these currencies are not legal tender. Understanding private currencies. Company script was a common form of private currency issued by employees by the employer, which could only be exchanged in the company stores owned by the employer. This was more common in the 19th century in the US and Europe as the Industrial Revolution created mining towns far away from other forms of economic activity. Private currencies have been used in the United States since the mid-1800s and are still issued today in some localities. Although issuing private currency is restricted by law in many countries, there are still estimated to be thousands of private currencies circulating in dozens of countries worldwide. Many private currencies struggle to survive for more than a few years due to being relatively illiquid, narrowing the range of choice for businesses and consumers suffering from a trust deficit and the complications of having to deal with two parallel or complementary currencies. As a result, private currencies are often issued and backed by physical commodities such as gold or silver. When backing a private currency with a commodity, issuers can increase the security and viability of the asset. This practice also limits the effects of inflation on the currency's value, since commodities tend to move closely in line with inflation.
Many investors in these cryptocurrencies have suffered significant losses. The next contender, wholesale CBDCs, and second and third contenders, wholesale CBDCs and tokenized bank liabilities. Now, these can play the role of digital money and help to achieve atomic settlement because they correspond to the existing monetary system, which comprises central bank notes and coins and bank deposits. So you have CBDCs and tokenized bank liabilities. Since 2016, MAS has conducted many experiments with other central banks and the financial industry to explore the use of wholesale CBDCs on distributed ledgers to facilitate real-time cross-border payments and settlements. We will take our experiments a step further next year. I'm pleased to announce that MAS will pilot the live issuance of wholesale CBDCs to instantaneously settle payments across commercial banks here. Now, previously, MAS had only simulated the issuance of wholesale CBDCs within test environments. We will now go further into live. We will partner the local banks to pilot the use of wholesale CBDCs as a common settlements asset in domestic payments. So banks will issue tokenized bank liabilities that represent claims on their balance sheets by their retail customers, right? Now, the retail customers will be able to use these tokenized bank liabilities in transactions with merchants who can in turn credit these tokenized bank liabilities with their respective banks.
Okay, so Singapore is set to go live with the wholesale central bank's digital currency CBDC trials in 2024. The MAS has announced plans to launch a live wholesale CBDC for settlements by local banks. This initiative follows the conclusion of Project Ubin. Project Ubin was an initiative between Singapore and Canada. And I want to say, let me just pull this up. Let me just not talk out of my butthole here. So here we are on the Deloitte website there with the MAS right here. This is talking about Project Ubin right here. Acknowledgements go out. Here are the members from that were in Project Ubin. Deloitte and Monetary Authority of Singapore would like to thank the following organizations who have contributed to the research of this publication: Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, BSC Information Systems, Credit Suisse, DBS, Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank Corporations, JPM, Mitsubishi, OCBC, R3, Singapore Exchange, United Overseas Bank. And is that everybody? It's got to be everybody. There's nobody else I can think of that could be in here. Oh wait, we have Ripple and Stellar in there too as the key infrastructure. Bam. Okay, let's not play around with that too long. Let's go back and continue on here. We heard them talking about Project Ubin going live in 2024. We are now March 3rd, 2024. I don't know the exact date it's going live, but sometime in this year.
Now, the outstanding interbank obligations arising from these transactions will be settled via an automatic transfer of wholesale CBDCs that the banks are holding. So clearing and settlement occurs in a single step on the same infrastructure, unlike the current system in which clearing and settlement take place on different systems and settlement occurs with a lag. The last contender for digital money, stablecoins. Stablecoins, if well regulated, can potentially play a useful role as digital money alongside CBDCs and tokenized bank liabilities. And this diversity is important. So MAS has invested in developing a rigorous stablecoin regulatory framework to ensure a sound stablecoin ecosystem in Singapore. But the legislative amendments for the stablecoin regulatory framework to take effect will not be ready for at least a year. So an interim approach that we've taken is to acknowledge entities whose stablecoins can already demonstrate compliance with MAS's regulatory framework. So I'm pleased to say MAS has granted in-principle approval under the Payment Services Act to 3 entities who will issue stablecoins that substantively comply with MAS's upcoming stablecoin regulatory framework. The 3 entities are straight XSGD issuance that will house the XXGD pegged stablecoin that is already on the market.
While digital money has been a reality for several decades, many worldwide are advocating for a new form of digital money, CBDC. A central bank digital currency, or CBDC, represents a direct claim on the central bank, hence decreasing counterparty risk and increasing financial inclusion. However, if a central bank were to issue CBDCs directly to end users, a major disintermediation of existing financial systems and a reduction in the availability of credit in the economy may occur. To address these issues, Straits X and SIBA Bank conceptualized a hybrid CBDC, in which CBDCs get distributed by existing financial institutions and a direct claim on the central bank is established. With this model, financial institutions will continue to provide credit to the economy, while making sure that money distribution is safe and compliant. To enable financial inclusion while giving new properties to money, our architecture offers interoperability across multiple infrastructures, so payments can leverage the most suited network for each use case. This enables both account-based and token-based payment systems, permissioned and permissionless networks, as well as various use cases, be it domestic or cross-border transactions, small or large amounts, or if you prioritize speed or fees. Our CBDC solution, XSGD, is already live for the Singapore dollar on the Singapore Domestic Payment Network FAST, the Ethereum Decentralized Blockchain, and the Zilliqa Decentralized Blockchain. Since its release in October 2020, over 2 billion Singapore dollars has been transacted. With consumer protection in mind, our CBDC solution is fully collateralized by cash held with a commercial bank. We are strongly committed to compliance excellence, transparency, independence, and security. Hence, our solution strives to meet the highest regulatory standards, including KYC, AML, and CFT. Transactions are monitored using the latest technology. A function to blacklist addresses and freeze funds, if prompted to do so by law enforcement, has been introduced in the smart contracts. Finally, we've also conducted full-scale automated travel rule test transfers to ensure compliance with the latest Financial Action Task Force guidelines. At a wholesale level, transactions between financial institutions and with a central bank requires more privacy. we have designed a Layer 2 solution that leverages zero-knowledge proof for institutions to encrypt the values of wholesale CBDC transactions. We believe our proposed CBDC model offers the best of privacy, performance, interoperability, and scalability all at once. CBDC is the future of money, and our already live hybrid CBDC solution paves the way forward.
And that now brings us here. MAS Monetary Authority, Project Orchid Blueprint, infrastructure for safe and innovative use of digital money in Singapore. This is my second take at this. Would you believe that? I went a good 15 minutes talking to my damn self on mute. Introduction. Technological advancements have given rise to the possibility for commerce to be conducted without requiring transacting parties to meet in person. Electronic payment methods in Singapore are pervasive and continue to grow in terms of ease and convenience. Banking services are increasingly offered digitally, with efforts to increase their resiliency and reliability underway. Meanwhile, global technological innovations in money are gaining traction, with central banks and commercial banks spending significant resources researching future forms of money and its impact on the economy. With increased digitalizations, CBDCs, tokenized liabilities, and regulated stablecoins, together with a set of well-designed smart contracts, could grow in importance as a medium of exchange. These tokenized forms of digital money could support enhanced features that are not widely available today, including atomic settlement and the ability for senders to specify conditions such as validity period when making transfers. I know in my bank account now with BMO in Canada, I can now send a request for money, an RFM request for money. All right, that's neat. It didn't exist before. That was on an update. In view of these developments, MAS launched Project Orchid in 2021 in collaboration with industry partners to explore the technical feasibility and infrastructure required for a digital Singapore dollar. The project started by examining potential use cases for digital money and the infrastructure that will be required to support it. Phase 1. MAS collaborated with financial institutions, corporates, and government agencies and explored use cases to understand the potential opportunities and drawbacks of introducing a digital Singapore dollar. Phase 1 also introduced purpose-bound money, BPM, as a common protocol to specify conditions for digital money. Phase 2 of the pilot undertook a two-pronged approach. First, the conduct of multiple industry-led digital money pilots that expanded the use of BPM across new scenarios. Second, the information of an industry group to examine how digital money might be effectively incorporated into Singapore's payments and financial system. This paper presents a blueprint referred to as Orchid Blueprint, which details the infrastructures for the safe and innovative use of digital money in Singapore, drawing on these findings from ongoing experiments and feedback from the industry group. The paper first outlines the innovations behind the introduction of the Orchid Blueprint, then provides an overview of the different forms of digital money. Next, the paper delves into the technology, infrastructure, and standards required for digital money issuance and usage in Singapore. The paper then highlights the operational and commercial considerations for digital money and concludes by highlighting the areas that need to be further explored. So that is what we are listening to right now. In Shaping the Financial Ecosystem of the Future, a speech by Ravi Menon, okay? Singapore FinTech Festival. This is November 2023. Let's finish off his conversation here.
Now, this ensures that funds are released to merchants only when the customer receives the purchased items, providing greater assurance to both parties, customer and the merchant. Now, this is being tested at this Singapore FinTech Festival in partnership with Amazon and Grab. The final piece of the new financial landscape is its underlying digital infrastructure. The limitations of existing digital asset networks mean that they may not be fit for purpose as a global infrastructure for digital assets. So today we have public permissionless blockchains. Now they have attracted many users and applications, but they suffer from a lack of accountability, anonymity of service providers, and some legal uncertainty. Then you have private permissioned blockchains. Many financial institutions engage in these.
Private permission would be like R3. So the Monetary Authority of Singapore has been actively involved in exploring CBDCs initiatives using DLT like R3 Corda. MAS has collaborated with R3 to create a sandbox powered by Corda, known for its scalability and regulatory-friendly features. This collaboration aims to enable cross-border high-value transfers using DLT, building on projects like Ubin. MAS has released Corda for MAS has also released Corda for central bank, offering solutions for various financial activities such as issuing promissory notes, certificates of deposit, government bonds, and more. The Global CBDC Challenge organized by MAS highlights the use of DLT systems for government cash and treasury management, with prototypes utilizing R3 Corda technology. And as Ravi was talking about earlier here, how they were utilizing the AWS and that setup or arrangement. Here, Global CBDC Challenge, safe, sustainable, and inclusive finance. Here we have partnership with the OECD, UNHRC, the World Bank. Here we go, supported by AWS, MasterCard, Partier, R3, Hyperledger, Mojaloop, just to name a few, right? And this is what he's talking about here. This is what he's talking about now. This document here. The recent report, the G7 Public Policy Principles for Retail CBDC, divides the issues coherently into two categories. Foundational issues covering matters that include monetary and financial stability, and opportunities covering matters such as financial inclusion, cross-border functionality, and international development. Well, maybe we could continue on. This just lays out what he's talking about right now. So back to you, my man Ravi. Back to you.
Now, they address the regulatory and legal concerns well, but they suffer from a lack of interoperability because they're private. And this leads potentially to fragmentation of liquidity in digital assets, which is what we're trying to solve in the first place. So what do we need? We need open and interoperable networks which are also compliant with relevant regulatory requirements. So I'm pleased to say that MAS and a group of industry players have come together to launch the Global Layer 1, GL1 initiative as a foundational digital infrastructure across multiple DLT networks.
So here we are. XRP and XLM are prominent cryptocurrencies with distinct features that position them as strong contenders in the realm of global Layer 1 projects. XRP, associated with Ripple, is favored for its integration with major banks, focusing on centralized interbank settlements. On the other hand, Stellar XLM targets individual and small business financial services through a decentralized approach, emphasizing peer-to-peer transaction. Stellar stands out for its Layer 1 AMM and an intuitive decentral exchange. Moreover, Stellar boasts an established network proposing over 9 million operations daily, supporting a wide range of assets and regulatory features for central banks, CBDCs. While XRP leverages Ripple's extensive partnerships within the financial sector, XLM's nonprofit foundation fosters a community-driven approach focused on individual transactions and low fees. Both XRP and XLM play essential roles within the ISO 20022 framework, each offering unique utilities within the global financial system. Ultimately, the choice between XRP and XLM depends on specific use cases and preferences within the evolving landscape of blockchain technology. All I'm doing here is breaking down what this man is talking about here, what my man Ravi from the Monetary Authority of Singapore is talking about here. I'm just showing you what's going on. And again, I use documents, right? I use my documents.
Now, GL1 is conceived as a global public good. It'll facilitate seamless cross-border transactions and enable tokenized assets to be traded across global liquidity pools while meeting regulatory requirements. So MAS welcomes interested financial institutions and international policymakers and others to join this initiative. A foundational digital infrastructure also offers the possibility of regulatory compliance by design. So instead of doing regulatory compliance checks after systems are implemented, a compliance by design approach enables policy and regulatory requirements to be programmed beforehand and enforced automatically in real time. So together, digital assets, digital money, and a foundational digital infrastructure can help realize the vision of seamless financial transactions across the world.
I hope you guys found some information here that you can use. Again, I went on a tangent here, recording myself with the mute button being on. But I hope you guys found some information that you can utilize within your life. My wife is on the charts right now, playing around with Dogecoin, messing up the charts, having fun. I'm like, good for you. Play around with it, get familiar with it, get to know it. But I need to sign off because it is my stepdaughter's birthday on March 6th. I need to be quiet because she could probably hear me. So because I'm going to make her a certificate, a generic certificate, stating that it's worth X amount of money. And on there, it'll be for software for her computer because she is working on DJing. She's done a few gigs already and she'd like to take that further. So if anybody can recommend any software, that would be good. I can make a recommendation to her after she opens up this certificate. Hope you guys found something you can use. I'll catch you on the next one.
We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.